Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some posts from the FatDoctorUK where they are once again encouraging people to ignore the advice of their doctors. For those that don't know, FatDoctorUK used to be a doctor, hence the name, but they were getting investigated by the medical board for misconduct, which caused them to become angry and pull a classic, "You can't fire me, I quit." So now they are no longer a practicing doctor. In the past, FatDoctorUK has sold various online courses, master classes, etc. Now they have just released a book called No Way that teaches you being fat won't reduce your life expectancy, but fat-phobic doctors will. We're definitely going to have to add that book to the Cynical book club list and read it on Wednesdays in the future, as I'm sure it will be hilarious. Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache.
If you're a fat person, you're probably avoiding your doctor because you can't handle the truth. The truth is, your doctors don't care about your health.
Oh, that's the truth that we couldn't handle. That's why we didn't go to the doctor. What?
Your doctors don't care about your well-being. They don't care enough to take a proper history, to examine you, to order the right tests and investigations.
Are you sure? Because my doctor orders whatever tests that I need, including blood work, etc. They seem to be going off of the latest medical knowledge that they got from medical school. So I don't know what you're talking about. Aren't you no longer a practicing doctor?
They don't care enough to make a diagnosis instead of just blaming everything on your weight. They don't care enough to give you the treatment that you need, that you deserve, that you're entitled to. Instead, they fob you off with weight loss and try to get you out of their room as soon as possible. They don't care enough about you to respect your autonomy.
I'm not sure why we, a former doctor, are telling people not to listen to their current doctors that are actually licensed that they go to.
They think you're lazy, weak. They think you lack discipline, that you're ugly.
They think I'm ugly! What the hell? My doctor thinks all that! Okay, what sort of positive things do you think about me? Go ahead, list them all.
And revolting. I'm not saying this. There are studies out there that demonstrate this.
There are studies that show that my doctor thinks I'm ugly. I don't want to read that study. I would like to think that they think I'm hot. Whether it's true or not, I don't care. It makes me feel good. Either way, this is insanely bizarre. So, the FatDoctorUK is actually selling a book. And in order to get you to buy that book, I guess they have to tell you that your doctors don't know anything, and they do. I don't know how any of this is actually legal.
If you don't believe me, check out my book, No Way.
Oh, so you're selling a book. That's what this was all about.
Cite all of the references and the studies and
fluffykittenparty.com, or was it .org?
Try and help fat people who are navigating healthcare, knowing that their doctors don't care about them.
Yes, and we're helping them by telling them to ignore the advice of their doctors, and also by telling them that none of their weight-related problems are related to their weight. Your doctor said that your knee pain, back pain, fatigue, and all this other stuff was related to your weight? It's not. Your doctor's full of crap.
Buy my book.
Okay. So not only does my doctor hate me, they also think I'm ugly? Oh my god, I better buy your book immediately. Do you think I'm hot? Is that in the book? It's like, your doctor thinks you're ugly, ... I think you're hot. Buy this book. I guess you already bought this book if you're reading it. Either way. Next.
I am sick and tired of doctors treating their fat patients like crap. It's not just morally wrong, it is harmful, it is unethical, and it is a breach of their duty of care.
You mean when a doctor tells you that some of your ailments are related to your weight? That's what we have an issue with. But what if our doctor is going off of well-established research that's existed for many years?
And I'm tired of them getting away with it. So I wrote a book. It's called No Way. It's out on the 20th of May, and I wrote it for fat people. I wrote it to give fat people the knowledge and the language to fight back, to demand better,
Okay, so this book is just going to teach us to argue with our doctors, whose office we are constantly at for some reason. For some reason, we're constantly at the doctor's office needing to argue with them because they're not giving us the care we need. I'm a little confused why we're always at the doctor's office needing their help. If they're so dumb and ridiculous and problematic and they keep blaming everything on our weight, why do we keep needing to go there? Why are we always there?
To take a stand, to take their power back in the doctor's office.
So this book is literally just encouraging people to argue with their doctors.
There's a link in the bio to pre-order the book. As I said, it will be out on Wednesday the 20th of May. And if you're interested in coming to the virtual launch, then more details to follow.
Okay, and there we learn that this book is primarily going to teach you how to argue with your doctor. How to argue with your doctor, whose office you are at all the time. For some reason. We hate going to the doctor. They think we're ugly. They're fat phobic. They keep saying that all of our problems are related to our weights, but we keep going there. For some reason. Even though we hate this person and can't stand their advice and we disagree with all of it, we keep needing to go there and asking them for this advice. It's real weird, man. All right, I'm going to write a book, How to Argue with Your Optometrist. What do you mean I need glasses, you idiot? You need glasses. Sorry, I added this in post. Next.
I wrote a book. And here is a copy. And it's taken me ages to get one because Royal Mail messed it up. So I'm finally holding it in my hands.
I like the shirt, by the way. It says, I'm not arguing. I'm simply explaining why I am right. That perfectly encapsulates this person's entire personality. They don't hear anything that anybody else has to say about anything. Everybody else is wrong. But listen to me, I am right.
Messed it up. So I'm finally holding it in my hands. Let me tell you. For the longest time, I've been saying doctors shouldn't prescribe weight loss to their patients. And people have been going, prove it. So I did. That's what I did.
Writing a book doesn't prove that doctors shouldn't prescribe weight loss to their patients. This is just you telling people why you think doctors shouldn't prescribe weight loss to their patients. Anybody can write a book that doesn't prove anything.
That's what I did. I proved that doctors should not be prescribing weight loss to their patients.
This does not prove that.
And you see this? You see at the back here?
Yeah, those are pages with words on them, which anybody can write.
You see all this? There are 312 references in this book. I did my due diligence.
Right, but you only chose references that agree with things that you already thought. If you looked up research that said obesity leads to knee pain, you would not include that, you would ignore it, and you would look for research that says, actually, obesity helps your knee pain, or whatever. It's called confirmation bias. You're seeking out things that validate what you already thought, and things that don't agree with what you already thought, you discard them. So we're not really doing any science. We're cherry picking things that agree with us so that we can be right, because just like your shirt says, I'm not arguing, I'm simply explaining why I am right. So that's not just a goofy gag shirt. You actually believe that, regardless of what the research says.
I did my due diligence. No more, hey, Asher, you're just cherry picking the evidence. I don't think so.
That doesn't prove that you didn't cherry-pick the evidence. This is just a book full of the cherry-picked evidence. This is a collection of cherry-picked evidence.
I don't think so. I didn't write this book to sell copies. I didn't write this book to become a famous author. I wrote this book to get the message out there. And
the message that our doctors are dumb. It says, never suffer through another weight loss lecture from your doctor again.
Here it is. I hope you enjoy it.
I think I am going to enjoy reading that book. Apparently it's out now, so I'm going to have to order it. Now we're going to be taking a look at a couple of posts on Instagram talking about this book more. You can either comply with your doctor and starve yourself, or you can remain sick for the rest of your life. That's not a choice, it's coercion. What? Okay, so when you go to the doctor with various symptoms related to obesity and they tell you to lose weight, that's them recommending that you starve yourself? And if you don't, you'll remain sick for the rest of your life? Okay, so you're saying that being obese is being sick, then? Because That's not a choice, it's coercion. Well, I mean, some things just are the way they are, right? If we have a bunch of knee pain related to our weight and our doctor tells us that's what's going on, that's not them trying to coerce us. That's just them telling us what's going on. They're letting us know what is causing this knee pain and how we can take care of it. Isn't it interesting that we used to be a doctor and then we turned in our medical license, and now we're encouraging people to argue with and ignore the advice of their doctors? Is that because we're just angry that we lost our medical license or stopped practicing or whatever? Now we have it out for the entire medical industry? That's what it seems like. Those dumb doctors don't know anything. They fired me. They investigated me for misconduct, and I turned in my license. It's really interesting to turn in your license and then still go around calling yourself doctor and releasing books giving people medical advice. This is wild. The description reads, I cannot stress this enough. Doctors cannot coerce you into losing weight. They cannot make your treatment contingent on weight loss. They cannot refuse to treat you unless you comply with their advice. They cannot stigmatize and bully you into a corner. This is the opposite of consent. It's assault. What? They cannot make your treatment contingent on weight loss? Well, I've heard that if you need to get like knee replacement surgery, you might have to lose some weight, because if you don't, you will quickly wear out your new knees. Also, a lot of gastric bypass surgery, you might have to lose some weight before you get that to prove that you can, because it can be very dangerous if you regain a bunch of weight after that surgery. The medical profession relies on the fact that either you don't know your rights or you don't have the capacity to fight for them. I wrote No Way to give you the language and the evidence to hold your doctors accountable. Yeah, so this is literally just encouraging people to argue with their doctors. I wrote it to validate and empower fat people who are being mistreated and abused by the very people who are charged with looking after them. Dude, you can't be serious. How do you think it's abuse for a doctor to recommend weight loss to somebody? How? You literally think that no medical issues on earth are related to our weight at all, period, regardless of the countless studies that have been done. If this post makes you mad, here are some suggestions for what you can do about it. Check out noway.org and join the No Way movement. I like that. If this makes you mad, go buy my book. Wait a minute. You almost had me there. You almost got me. Repost this message, share it to your stories, or send it to someone that needs to hear it. Check out pages 104 through 111 of the book. 111, sorry. I wrote it to validate and empower fat people that are being abused by their doctors. Okay. Like I keep saying, why are they always at the doctor's office? Why do we keep going there? If we dislike the doctor and their advice so much, but we keep going to their office, there must be a reason for that, right? We must really need the doctor's help if we keep going to their office despite the fact that they think we're ugly and keep giving us the advice that we don't want to hear. Next. Being fat won't reduce your life expectancy, but fat-phobic doctors will. Oh yeah? Where are you getting these statistics? I know these are just quick AI overviews and not proper research, but it's also just common sense. I can dive deeply into any of these studies if you would like. Yes, obesity significantly shortens life expectancy. The reduction in lifespan depends heavily on the severity of the obesity and the individual's age. Extreme obesity. Individuals with severe or extreme obesity, a BMI of 40 or higher, may lose up to 14 years of life compared to individuals with a healthy weight. And then the description on this one reads, being fat isn't what's killing us. Fat-phobic doctors are. And the worst part, they get to wash their hands of all responsibility while their patients avoid coming back. No Way is the book that changes that. Grab your copy, and if you know someone who needs to hear this, send this post their way. Once upon a time, the weight loss industry created a disease to sell a cure. The weight loss industry created obesity? So it didn't exist until the weight loss industry created it. No Way is out on the 20th May. Pre-order your copy today. No Way. Everything you've been told about weight loss is a lie by a person who never accomplished it. For those that don't know, FatDoctorUK was actually formerly on a weight loss journey themselves, and had issues losing weight, and then they became all bitter and angry and started discouraging people from losing weight and releasing all of these various spiels. It's very interesting when somebody tries to do something, they're less than successful, and then they go on to say, oh, that thing was stupid, and I didn't want to do it anyway. That is like so immature. The description reads, it reads like the beginning of a fairy tale, and in a way it is, except there's no magic spell, no happy ending, and the villain isn't hiding in the shadows. They're sitting in your doctor's office. Everything you've been told about weight loss is fiction, and I wrote the book to prove it. That doesn't prove anything. I can write a book right now that says the sky is red. That doesn't mean the sky is red. Anybody can write a book. No Way is out on 20th May. Be sure to pre-order your copy, link in bio, and join me for the virtual launch party on the 19th. Details in my stories. No matter what the evidence says, the system is designed to force you to attempt weight loss. What evidence are we talking about? So even if it appears that the system is not designed to force us to attempt weight loss, that is the case. No matter what the evidence says. Or we're saying, no matter what the evidence says, as in, none of these ailments are actually related to your weight, but the system keeps trying to make you lose weight anyway for reasons. For its own reasons. The system. Is the system in the room with us right now? The description reads, once you realize how problematic and fallible the guidelines process is, all this is going to sound less like a conspiracy theory and more like healthy skepticism. Don't take my word for it. Order my upcoming book. Wouldn't that be taking your word for it and then also paying you for it? Order my upcoming book and examine the evidence yourself so that you can form your own conclusions. You sure I shouldn't take to the internet? They got a lot of information on that there internet, and you didn't write the internet, so it might be a little less biased. No Way will be available for pre-order on the 22nd April. Don't forget that I am still reading a chapter out loud every Monday in book club. This is followed by a Q&A and is exclusive to members of my online community, The Waiting Room. Want exclusive access before the book is even released? Link to join in bio. Okay, so don't take FatDoctorUK's word for it. Order their book and examine the evidence yourself, which would be taking their word for it. Just trusting whatever they say. Here's another slide. You've seen it for yourself. Doctors try to scare you into losing weight by telling you that your body is diseased and needs fixing. Turns out they're just lying, though. Just for the heck of it. Doctors are weird like that. Always playing their weird-ass little head games. Why do you want me to lose weight so much, Doc? Because you think I'm ugly? That's why. Not because of the myriad of health conditions that I am currently experiencing and coming here for help with. Not because I am constantly in your office begging for your help. You're just trying to scare me because you think I'm ugly. I knew it. Doctors prescribe weight loss instead of treatments that actually work. Well, I mean, it depends on what we're trying to treat, right? We wouldn't prescribe weight loss if you're trying to quit smoking, even though there's no evidence to support their recommendations. If you choose not to comply, they refuse to treat you. If you try but fail, they blame you and tell you to try again. Well, I mean, if you try and fail, what are they supposed to tell you? Well, just keep gaining weight then, I guess. Screw all these issues that you came here for, I suppose. From Chapter 7 of my upcoming book, which will be available for pre-order on the 22nd April. Don't forget that I am still reading a chapter out loud every Monday in book club. This is followed by a Q&A and is exclusive to members of my online community, The Waiting Room. Want exclusive access before the book is even released? Link to join in bio. Alright, we're going to take a look at one more slide. This isn't about rogue healthcare professionals going off script. This is policy. This isn't bad doctors, it's bad medicine. Okay, are we sure this isn't about rogue healthcare professionals going off script? Oh, you're not talking about you, you're talking about other doctors. You're saying when they prescribe weight loss, that's not a bad one-off. This is part of the policy. It's ironic that we're talking about rogue healthcare professionals going off script. The description reads, "I'm not saying that individual doctors shouldn't be held accountable. I'm saying that we'll never see real change until we start challenging the organizations and policymakers in charge. Find out how in Chapter 7 of my upcoming book, which will be available for pre-order on the 22nd April. Don't forget that I am still reading a chapter out loud every Monday in book club. This is followed by a Q&A and is exclusive to members of my online community, The Waiting Room. Want exclusive access before the book is even released? Link to join in bio." And this comment says, "This is terrifying and so dangerous. I agree that this is terrifying and so dangerous." Oh, were you talking about the doctors that FatDoctorUK was referring to? Or FatDoctorUK themselves? Either way, as we can see, FatDoctorUK has released a book called No Way that encourages people to ignore the advice of their doctors once again. This seems to be an ongoing theme. FatDoctorUK seems to be selling various products online, and they're all basically the same thing. Here's a masterclass on why your doctor is wrong. Here's a virtual online course about why your doctor is wrong. Here's a book I just wrote about why your doctor is wrong. It's always the same spiel. Pay me money to tell you that none of your problems are your own fault, basically. And there's nothing that you can do, and your doctor is an idiot. I don't know if that can't-do attitude is actually helping anybody. If we're always at the doctor's office looking for their advice, perhaps we should take it. I think it's really wild that FatDoctorUK continues to discourage people from listening to their doctors and instead buy their book. Like I also said earlier, I'm going to be buying this book and reading it on Wednesdays, so look out for that upcoming. Either way, what do you think of the clips that we just saw? Leave a comment below. Happy Thursday, everybody. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't leave me here high and dry.